tried these earlier this morning and they were just fine. So we might try them after the break. If they don't work now, we'll do them after the break, inshallah. So I'm not going to take a long time to do it, inshallah. Okay, now that seems to be working. Okay, now it seems... Is that playing on the back? Okay. It says it's playing. Okay, so it doesn't play on this screen, that's why. Okay. I'll fix it. After the break, we'll fix it and we'll get it to work, inshallah ta'ala. It's working for me on here, but it's not working on the big screen. No problem. We'll do it, inshallah ta'ala, after the break, bi'idhnillah, so we don't use up our time. So let's have a look through some of these ta'aweeth that have been found by various people. I've got such a big collection of these now that there's loads and loads of them. So have a look and see what you can see. Broken up letters. Writing that is like semi-illegible. I think this one is Urdu, probably. And usually some instructions about what to do with it. Let's have a look at this one. Random numbers, these probably spell words. If you added them up and used the adding up, they will spell words. Usually the names of shaitan and things like that, they spell. This one is more faded. Let's have a look at this one. I have different ones every time. I don't keep the same ones. I just go through different ones every time, so you get what you get. Okay. This is one that we opened up, or someone opened up. I can't remember if this is one I opened up or someone else. But look at how Allah's names are used. Allah is my Lord. Look at this. Look at this here. Allah is my Lord. Allahu Rabbi. But look at what the stuff they've written on the outside. They write the names of the shaitan. They write strange words. They write things you can't see. They write things asking help from Jibreel, from Mikael. They write all these strange letters and numbers and symbols, subhanAllah. This is another one that has this. This is the same one that has Allahu Rabbi. And when you go through, subhanAllah, what it actually says, you have to find one or two words that are not right. You have to find one or two words that are not right. In the beginning, you look at it, you might not see anything. But the more you go through it, you'll see certain words and certain things that don't make sense, or certain things that are, for example, like names of shaitan. So they're very hard to see because you can go through them and they've got all these names on them and all these strange writings and symbols on them, and you can see some of the symbols and things like that if you look very carefully. But if you actually go through them, and I'll send you some to go through, you can see, subhanAllah, that every now and again you'll see a word. Look at this. The stars of Babylon, just hiding in there. The stars of Babylon hiding in there. In all of this is Arabic letters and writing. You have to find something. Let's see what this one is like. Okay, this is from the museum. Sometimes they're like generic things, like this one. This is just a generic thing that people tell you, keep it in your pocket to get success. Keep it in your pocket to get success. SubhanAllah. This is not magic, but what they want to do is they want to misguide the people. They want the people to start trusting in this instead of trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are usually to be burned or to be put in water. They're in strips. And what else do we have? We have so many of these. Let's have a look at this one. You see some things, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but nothing is written properly. You always see things are like written in a strange way, and then you have all these numbers, you have some random letters, you have some symbols, and inside you will see some things that shouldn't be there as well. So you're going to see all of these different things as you go through. These ones we've seen. Okay, this is a strange one. I think it might be a sad. No, this is ma, and this is maybe sah, and this is maybe ham. But all of it is designed to seek help from the shaitan, and they're so varied. But eventually, you see the same things coming again and again. Very strange things, numbers, letters, symbols. And, you know, in some of the books of that the magicians have, they tell them what each one means and they tell them what each one does. You can sometimes see, look at this one. Imagine having that around your neck. Iblis, 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 Iblis. And they tell you it's Quran. It's the name of Allah. Don't worry. See some stuff that is printed. You can see different letters on it. Random symbol there. Random symbol here. Different broken letters. La, 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 la. Mim, 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 la, 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 la. Allahumma musta'an. These ones are ones you're supposed to dip in water and drink. So when you dispose of these, you have to be a little bit careful. When you dispose of them, that you dispose of them in the right way. So in the last sort of few minutes, we're going to talk about how to dispose of them properly. But these are the ones that are like saffron ink and stuff like that. Let's see what this one is. I think this is supposed to say Medina, Medina, Medina. That might be somebody's name. That might be, who knows. And these will add up to either a name or they will add up to a number that can be divided into 9, into 15, into 11, and stuff like that. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, this is a multicolored one. This is more of a generic one. Some of them you see they're generic like this. This is not done, these are like they're printed and given out to people as a way to misguide them. But they're not so much ones that actually deal with real magic. And we have lots and lots and lots of them. What about this one? It's just, they just write some weird stuff. They write some weird stuff. Yani. So this says, Ya Muta'al. Maybe Ya Akbar, maybe. But it's all very weird. There's all very strange bits that shouldn't be there. And around the outside, you have the worship of the stars and the star symbols and the names of the shayateen and all of that stuff around there as well. Let's see which other ones we have that are worth showing you. What does this one say? Okay. Some of them, like I said, some of them are scribbles. I want to show you one that's there's so many of them. You see, this is very intricate, this one. But again, this is generically printed. So someone has obviously done it once and then just copied it. But all of these are called the seal of a magician. These circles here and squares are called the seal of the magician. They're called the seal of the magician. And some of them have so many scribbles on them you can't read. But look at this, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. But it doesn't look like it says Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You can see Bismillah, and that might say Ar-Rahman. What does that say? And then it has some really strange stuff. And strange words and written above. But you always see that there'll be something from the Quran. There'll be something from the Quran in there, something from the names of Allah that is in there. I'll show you some of the ones that the Shaykh put in his presentation, because he's got a variation. He put a variation. So these here are things that people wear for luck and to protect from the evil eye. So they're not magic as such, but what they are is they misguide the people away from the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's called the hand of Fatima. And I've got in the videos, you can see the magicians using the same hand. Let me go and see where some of the examples the Shaykh has in his presentation. There's different examples. Here they're dredging the sea to collect magic. And this is a bird that has the magic tied around, or this is the magic tied around a maybe lamppost or something. Dug in a grave. So here you have it being done to the Quran. So these are all copies of the Quran that have been covered in filth and dirt, and they have been disgraced, and they have written, their shaitani names inside of them. The combs, the examples of the knots, all the different knots, the burning incense, the rings we saw before, pouches. Usually the pouches have little plastic things like this inside that you have to unfold. And we're going to talk about now, in 5 minutes, we're going to talk about how to destroy them bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. These are, we'll go back to the beginning because there's some good ones in the beginning that you can learn from. So let's see what we have here. Different things. So these are the generic ones. These type ones are pre-printed. They're not magic on the person. If you see this, they're not on the person. They're done like to resemble the magicians and to misguide the people. Here you see Allah's names covered in blood. Qul huwa Allahu ahad, but without the qul. Notice, without the qul. Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Then times 30. La ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. And it's smeared in blood. And it's a very dirty, it's not just smeared in blood as well. It's very dirty. And it's all done to disgrace the Quran, to attack. Here you see someone's hair with a bubble in it. And inside of it, you can see the magic inside of that. This one, again, are the knots. And the hair is tied around the knots. And sometimes even they do it in clothing as well. So let's have a look at this one. You have the name of their gods, the star god, star god, star god, star god, star god, and inside you have Allah's names. Look at that. Look at how they disgrace the Quran. In here you have Ali, Jibreel, Abu Bakr, and then you have what? Look at this one. Samkakyail. It's the name of shaitan. Well, that's what they think it is anyways. Nawawayil. Then Omar. They say it's the name of angels. And these are, like Allah Azza wa Jalla said, most of them worship the shaitan. And then you see Allah, the Quran written around the outside. You see the Quran being written around the outside, and inside you see these numbers which are the worship of the shaitan, which make the 3 names of the shaitan. This one, in the inside of a sheet, it's kind of a pre-printed one. We saw the ones on keys. This is like some nasty dead lizard, and the magic is put inside of it. These are the pieces to burn. And again, you can see on the burning pieces what is written. Same names of the shaitan. The same Batat Zahaj thing that we did before is written on these ta'awith. Okay. You can see these ones are dissolved in water. These are things people believe protect them. The padlocks, again, what can you see here? The stars of Babylon, here. Allah's names, Prophet ﷺ's name is there. Uthman ibn Affan's name is there. And there's all sorts of Allah, La, Lam, La, Muhammad. Very strange things they write. SubhanAllah. You see them sometimes on eggs, on rings, inside of incense, on the end of birds, and Allahumma musta'an. So these are some examples of some of the things that you might come across. And what I have done is I've actually got a much more detailed video that goes through the real details in much more information than this. But this is just to give you something to get you started, to get you aware of what these things are and what they are intended to do. So let's have a look now at how we destroy these ta'weez. How do we destroy them? So I'm just going to disconnect that for a second while I bring up the how to destroy the ta'weez. Article. This is another article from the website that talks about how we should, it's a summary of how we should destroy the ta'weez. Okay, perfect. That's working now, so we just switch it back on. We'll put it back on here. Okay. So, this is from an article that we have on the website called How to Destroy a Ta'weez. So let's go through it. The question is, I found something that appears to be some kind of ta'weez and perhaps magic, because bear in mind the two are not always the same, right? The ta'weez might just be something to misguide the people or to confuse them or to make them close to shaitan, but the magic would be something very specific for this exact person. How can I destroy it? Okay, this is Sheikh Adil's answer, but I have added some additional points of safety. I'm sure the Sheikh won't mind me saying that. The Sheikh is very experienced with this, and he does it very quickly. And so I added some points of safety for people who don't do this every day. That's all I added. I used the Sheikh's instructions, but I just added some points of, just generally, being safe and things like that. You will need the following equipment: a tray, so that everything stays together and nothing falls on the floor. Because you don't want in your house to have all these piles of names of shaitan and filthy substances and haram and evil and all of these shaitani things in your house. So you're going to put them on a tray, and that tray, you can keep all the pieces inside of it, and then later on you can, I wouldn't use it to serve your dinner or anything. I just keep it and throw it, leave it outside or whatever. What I use, Sheikh does it old school style with a little lighter, but I prefer the long neck gas lighter, the one that is a very long, you use it for barbecues and things, that is long and it keeps you out the way of the fire so you don't burn yourself. A suitable container for burning the ta'weez, I personally just use I got this little cylinder and I just put it in there and I light it. And gloves. Please use gloves. Wallah, there's some filthy things inside of these ta'weez, some disgusting things. You definitely should be using gloves. You may need a pair of pliers, the things you pull things apart with, and scissors, and maybe some other tools. And I would recommend, if you're using tools like pliers and pulling metal apart, cover your eyes. Because you don't want to be, left blind because you pulled the metal thing and a piece went into your eye. And if the ta'weez contains knots, get a razor blade. A razor blade or a craft knife. Those very sharp blades that you can use for crafts. They use them in schools and things for crafts. Something you can throw the blade away. But you don't want to be keeping the blade from time to time. So you want something the blade can come out and you can throw the blade away and put a new blade in it. And you may need some Ruqya water. Okay, before beginning, we recommend that during the whole process, you constantly recite Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas. So while I'm opening up the ta'weez, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq. All the way, I'm just opening, I'm just reciting. You can recite any part of the Quran, but Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas, it seems to be the most appropriate. So when you open the ta'weez, you're going to open it completely inside of the tray, so that anything that falls is going to be inside the tray. You don't have to use a tray, you can use a plastic bag, you can use whatever you feel comfortable, but you want to catch all the pieces inside. Open the ta'weez carefully, so you don't hurt yourself. And so it's not broken up when you're opening it. It may sometimes get broken up. Sometimes it's difficult by the time you pull and you put a pin in and you pull the thing out and you get all the papers out. Sometimes the papers will all be like powder. But you try your best not to do that. Many ta'weez are encased in metal or leather, often with wax to seal them. Use pliers, scissors, and other tools to remove the metal. Keep all the discarded parts of the tray so that nothing is lost. Even the metal pieces, keep them all in the tray or in the bag. How do you get rid of the wax when the thing is sealed with wax? Take the pliers, pick up the object with the pliers. Not with your hands, otherwise you're going to burn your fingers. With the pliers or the scissors or whatever, pick it up. Take the lighter, light it gently. And what's going to happen is the wax is going to drip, 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 and then you can take the paper out. When you open the ta'weez, inspect it for knots. So look, check. Any knots? Okay, no knots. If you come across a knot, take the razor blade and cut through the knot. Cutting through the knot. Cutting through the knots. What do you do if the ta'weez is engraved in metal? If it's engraved in metal, such as a ring, you will need to grind the writing off the metal using a file or a multi-tool until there are no visible markings. So you want to take the ring and you want to remove all of the markings from the ring. What I did last time, I had it carved. It was carved on a brass turtle. I know, it's very strange. It was carved on a brass turtle. Quite a big turtle, about this big. And so I took it to a friend of mine who has a metal workshop, and I said to him, can you please grind it for me? If you don't mind, can you just remove it for me? So he grinded it, and we took it, and you can put it in Ruqya water, and you can dispose of it. Okay. If the ta'weez is written on paper, most of them are, then we have 3 different things to bear in mind. If it was given for the purpose of burning, in other words, it's written on there, burn this. Or there's a clear sign that it was meant to burn, like it's got incense in it. Or the person says, yes, the magician told me to burn it at Maghrib. Then you should use the water method that's coming up. If it's made up of soluble ink, like yellow or pink colored ink that is designed to be dissolved in water, you should also use the water method. Otherwise, you should destroy it by burning. If in doubt, combine the two by using water first, then dry it out, and then use the burning method. Okay, what are these 2 methods that we use? Burning or water? For the burning, put the ta'weez into a suitable container to burn. You want to burn it in a place which is not frequently used by people. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't go out to an island in the middle of nowhere, but you don't want to be burning it in your living room. You know, go to the, somewhere where maybe the end of the street or something, somewhere where people are not going to get harmed by breathing it in. Use a long neck gas lighter to burn it completely. Try not to inhale the smoke and try to keep reading. You need to keep reading, otherwise sometimes it doesn't burn. I've poured petrol on them and set them on fire, and the paper is completely as it was until you recite over it, and then it starts to burn. Bury the ash and residue in clean earth along with everything on the tray that you used to do. So just go to a place where the people don't use, dig up the soil or the sand and just put it in. Get rid of it. Or you could also throw it into the into the sea, but away from where people are, swimming or people are using, just away from it. What about the water method? For the water method, take a bowl of water and recite Surah Al-Fatiha and the last 3 surahs of the Quran. Or you can use the Ruqya water that you prepared earlier. Keep the bowl of water on the tray and don't let the water spill. Put the ta'weez in the water and rub away any of the soluble ink. So if you have that red ink or the yellow ink, rub it all away. Break it apart as much as you can. Try and get it broken apart so you can't read anything anymore. And then go and dispose of it in a place where the people don't use, like the bottom of the garden or in the soil somewhere, away from the people. You don't put it in a park where the children are going to play and stuff like that. You want to put it somewhere which is away from the people, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Or throw it into the sea. But again, if you're going to throw it into the sea, throw it away from where the people use. Don't throw it in the place where the people are there and the children are bathing and stuff like that. Throw it away. So let's revise this. You're going to open the ta'weez and cut the knots. You're going to see if it was made for burning, and if it was made for burning, don't burn it. Put it in the water. If you're at all confused, use the water first and the burning second. Otherwise, if it's just a regular one people wear around their neck, just burn it straight away. Recite Al-Falaq and An-Nas. If you have anything left over, bury it in earth or throw it in the water well away from where the people use, so that the people will not be harmed by it, Insha'Allah ta'ala. Now someone might ask a question. Someone might say, how do I know I'm not going to be harmed by this? And the answer is, first of all, because you are the one that is from الذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات. Inshallah, you're remembering Allah, you're doing your adhkar, you're doing your prayers, you're reading your Quran. Inshallah, you'll be fine. And we have to destroy them, because when we destroy them, if we can destroy the actual magic, the person will instantly get better bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So this is a very beneficial thing, and it's a very praiseworthy thing. You shouldn't be scared. Just make sure that you keep safe. I'm actually not worried about the jinn. The jinn is not what worries me. What worries me is that somebody's going to take a razor blade and cut their finger, or that somebody's going to burn their finger or something like that. So just be safe when you do it. When you see the sheikhs and stuff doing it, they're like, they have hundreds. Sometimes they have like 2,000-3,000 in a big pile. So they're going to be like, like they don't have gloves and the pins are everywhere, and he's got one pin behind his ear and one pin in between his fingers, and he's doing these kind of things. So what I advise you that you do is that you should be safe, be careful when disposing of them, but just dispose of them. If you feel unsure, use the water first, dry it out, and then burn it, inshallah ta'ala. And that will, inshallah, suffice in destroying it, inshallah. What you shouldn't do is just take it and throw it away. Because you're not really destroying the magic, really, or destroying the kufr that is written in it. You're just throwing it away somewhere else. So what you should do is to take it, break it apart, break it up, get rid of the signs, get rid of the symbols, put it in the water, burn it, whatever you need to do, but just get rid of it completely and make sure all the stuff you have left over, you throw it somewhere where the people are not going to be harmed by it, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Okay, so what do we have left, which we need to do? Okay, we have two main things left. And I made a note of what we had left, so let's have a look. We've done a little bit of the amulets. The Q&A is coming up. We still need to show you the videos, ideally, because the videos are not playing on the big screen. They're just playing on my small screen. So we can try and show you the videos if we can. And then we want to talk about, before we do the demo and the best practices, we do them together at the very end, inshallah ta'ala. So I think we can take a break there, inshallah, and we can come back for 4:15, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's like 55 minutes from now, inshallah. Pray Asr, come back, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And then what we can do is we can go through Q&A. What you might like to do is to write out your questions, inshallah, and to put them on the table while we're away, or to give them to one of the organizers. Because it will help for us to put all the questions together and to look at which questions are similar and to answer them in the most complete way possible. So please do put forward your questions, Insha'Allah ta'ala, and we'll do our very best to answer them. Just before you do that, there's one last point that I wanted to make. Something one of the brothers raised, and I think it's pretty important. And that is, when you get this knowledge, will you have enough knowledge to deal with every ta'weed and every ruqya case and loads of patients? That's the idea here. The idea here is that Insha'Allah ta'ala you have enough to keep yourself, your family safe by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that you can educate the people around you, your friends, your community, and so on. So it's not like this course has everything. Usually my course material now is it's maybe over 50 hours. Maybe more than, maybe even nearly 75 hours or more of material. But the aim is to give you enough for you to be able to treat yourself and to treat your family and to be able to help the people who are close to you from your friends and the people around you, so that Insha'Allah ta'ala together we can get enough information to be able to combat this evil that exists by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal. So we leave it at that, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.